everybody. This is Joshua Hatton with One Nation Under Whiskey. I'm joined today, and as always, increasingly always, by my good friend, business partner, the dear Jason Neil Patrick Harris Dunstan Yeller.
There you go. You shocked a cough right out of me.
Look at that. It's nothing shocking here. We're both wearing orange today. Look at that. Well, our viewers can see that we're wearing orange. Our listeners will just have to imagine it.
Look at that. He said to the viewers.
Can we have a little real talk right now, Jason?
Uh-huh.
So over the weekend, on Saturday, I woke up with a little bit of a scratchiness in the throat. I said, oh, got a little bit of a scratchiness. And as the day increased, my nose started to get a little stuffy. I said,
Oh, boy.
I think I got a little something coming on. And then the Sunday hit, and I got a full-on cold. And then I started feeling real woozy. And
This sounds like such a man cold.
so this is what I'm getting at. Like, it struck me down. And then, I got my days wrong. It started on Friday. That's what it is. It started on Friday. Okay. Then on Saturday, it really hit. And then on Sunday, Jason,
couldn't walk.
I slept for 14 hours straight. For 14 hours, Jason.
Oh, man. Did social media go on in those 14 hours that you weren't participating?
I don't think so. I think all social media stopped at that time.
Mark was like, Joshua's down, shut down Facebook. We'll come back tomorrow.
Right? They took a break.
Makes
They
sense.
didn't make any money that day.
In honor of you having a man cold.
I think the man cold is real. I really do.
A lot of men say that. Well, now we're sitting on Monday. How did you wake up this morning?
A little better. I feel slightly better. I'm still, my throat is less sore. I never lost my sense of smell
Humor.
or taste. I never lost my sense. I never lose my sense of humor, Jason. In fact, it increases when my voice gets a little funky. But I have been testing my sense of smell and taste, and it's still spot on. Like, usually you get a little cold in your...
Yeah, the taste is tough. Everything starts to get metallic, kind of tastes like new pennies. Hell, sometimes it tastes like old pennies.
Yeah. Old
sometimes it tastes like crypto. That's the worst time.
Fucking hell. Yeah, it tastes like Doge.
Yeah.
We don't want any of that.
Yeah. Once it tastes like cryptocurrency, just go to bed and sleep for 14 hours. That's what every doctor
is what it does.
That's what every doctor says about the man cold. Yeah. When it tastes like cryptocurrency, just go to bed for 14 hours.
It tastes like an NFT.
Oh boy.
But my palate is still there. I had been testing that. And so which is perfect for today's episode.
Thankfully.
We
dodged a man bullet there. That's different from a bullet. It's kind of imaginary, and it kind of hurts a little bit more. But
it hurts a little bit. It's like giving birth, really.
Very much so. The number of men who say the man cold is like giving birth.
It's it's just worse, though.
Isn't everything worse?
So anyway, men cold aside, Jason, we have a mission today. And today's mission is tasting through this new line of Tormore bottlings, the Blueprint.
Yeah, very excited for this. I haven't opened these since I brought them back from Scotland for us. Just cracked the cap today in order to pour into my glass.
So my understanding of the Blueprint is that these are going to be limited edition bottlings that basically give you an idea of what the Tormore range is going to be. This is the Blueprint. This is the setting of the stage.
Yeah, kind of. I think it's to show the palette with which Ollie and Polly and the Tormore team. I think it's to show the palette that they have available to them. And by palette, I don't mean mouth as in the palette you're discussing today, but palette as in an artist's palette. These are the flavors they can draw from.
Yeah.
And so a bit like an independent bottler putting out a cask of Tormore with full maturation in bourbon, we get to say, there's the bourbon matured side of Tormore. Here's Tormore, owned by Elixir since summer 2022.
22, yeah.
You know, they've got their own line of independent bottlings. Always been selecting casks for a good long while there. And I think they've got a little bit of the independent bottler mindset to say, here's what we are. Here's what's happening in our warehouses. Why don't you have this sneak peek? You know, they don't have the visitor center. You can't just rock up and wander around the warehouses. But here they've been able to put out into stores. Here's our flavor profiles. Here's our palette of flavors. And I'm also led to believe this is version 1 of this, batch 1 of this. I believe there is a second batch in the works.
Yes, I think you're correct in that.
In talking with Ollie about this project.
Yeah. And all of these are 10 years old.
That's what I'm seeing, front and center on the labels,
Yeah.
Yeah, pop that up for the viewers. There you go. You can see my little sample bottle here. This is the bourbon barrel on the side. And there's the 10 in the front center. There you go.
There you go. So it's going to be 3 samples. Bourbon cask matured, toasted barrel matured, and then cream sherry matured. I'm excited to talk about the cream. I mean, I'm excited to talk about all of these, but the cream sherry one I think is pretty cool.
And final point I will say, and again for the viewers, you just showed it to the camera there, but the sample box shows bourbon, it shows toasted barrels, and it shows the cream sherry, and that will be the order in which we're tasting them. So I already have the bourbon barrel 10-year-old Tormore at 48% alcohol poured and in my glass. You know, it's a lovely blonde, a white gold, white tea. Sometimes we lean on that.
That's a proper ABV, 48%. I like that.
You set your watch by it.
Right.
You know where you stand.
Oh.
Yeah, while you're giving that a first nose, I've been nosing it for the opening of today's episode, but there's a note on the back box here that says, Tormore's new make spirit is characterized by notes of pears, nectarines, and walnuts. Though elegant with a balance of autumnal and stone fruits, it also has huge depth and weight of character. Much of this style is driven by the fruit-forward wash, but also influenced by the large purifiers on each still that allow for maximum reflux and copper contact. This focuses the distillate toward the softer, fruitier flavors that have developed in fermentation.
Wow. It's so fruity.
And that's why I wanted to read that out for viewers and listeners.
And, you know, we talk about this often, and some people laugh internally, some people laugh externally, but there's a nasal texture to this. There's a softness to this on the nose, and there's almost like a, you know, along with the fruits, there's a creaminess to this, almost like a, you know, if you could create creamsicles out of the fruit that's coming in, but it tastes like it's going to be rounded, like it's going to be waxy. Or I'm sorry, it smells like it's going to be round and waxy.
But with that brightness to it, you know, so you know, it's not quite all the way there. But one of the things you always talk about is lemon pinwheels, and I'll talk about, you know, lemon meringue pie. Yeah, the stone fruits is so spot on, like ripe apricots front and center on the nose.
For sure. A little bit of cracked white pepper there as well, too, right? Which
would not disagree.
Which to me is Tormore. There's always a little bit of pepperiness coming through with Tormore for me.
But some of the most gentle pepper I've ever experienced with a Tormore. Oftentimes for me, Tormore, when it does have the peppers on the palate, and certainly as it transitions to the finish, often less so on the nose.
Yeah. All right, Jason, I'm gonna go in.
Go for it.
I'm gonna go for it.
Yeah, I'm just paying attention to texture as I circle it around the glass. checking out the legs on it, checking out the high oil mark on it, and then looking at the beading round about that as well. Oh gosh, it really gets brighter and fruitier on the nose.
All right. Yeah, the first sip, liquid kind of dances on your tongue. It's like doing a little Gregory Hines tap dance a la History of the World Part 1. Listeners and viewers are loving that reference.
Yeah, all those young people in the next generation that we're bringing into whiskey are loving the Gregory Hines reference. It could be all the fresh bourbon on it. Could also be the fact that I'm looking at a Glen Grant bottling just to the left of my laptop here, but that reminds me of sampling the 15-year-old Glen Grant at the distillery.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I would take that. A little less, like that Glen Grant has a bit more butterscotch going on for me, where this has a bit more fruit going on.
Yeah, I've maybe got the grain coming through a bit more on the palate here.
I was just going to say that. It's cereal forward.
Yeah, I think some of that heft that they talk about on this little package here, I definitely get a weight on the palate. I think that nose texture, that nasal texture you were talking about, definitely comes through on the palate as well.
Yeah.
That's got real nice weight to it.
Yeah, that's really nice. Now, the one thing that we don't know about this is, what sort of bourbon casks are being used. Is this a combination of first fill, refill, second fill? There's a good chance that Ollie may have mentioned this in a previous episode. And just as a reminder for ourselves and for the listeners and viewers, we did have Ollie on season 9, episode 13. I've got my cheat sheet over here, which was back on May 14. So if you want to go back and listen to that, he talks about some of the makeup of what Blueprint is going to be.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so you can go back to that.
I'm saving a little bit of this. I have more in the sample bottle, but I'm going to save a little bit in my glass here because I want to do this side by side.
Oh, that last little sip, I got a little bit of like rhubarb coming in. Oh, that's really nice.
Rhubarb and custard with a nice bourbon cask.
Yeah.
Well, this is moving on. This is the toasted barrel sample over here.
Okay. Now this toasted barrel, I'm going to say it's got to be a finish without a doubt.
I was just about to ask that question and was actually looking over the label to see if stories were told about the toasted barrel.
I've got to read it like this because I'm an old man.
Oh boy.
There you go. All right. Oofty doofty, Jason. All right.
Yeah, first thing I get on the nose, and for me, it's a comparison between bourbon barrel, right? Bourbon barrel and toasted barrel. I wanted to get my sizes correct. They are not just fallback cask. Is where the bourbon barrel was bringing some of the brightness, the sweetness, and the fruits. Here I've got those being tamped down and more of a wood frame happening for me.
Sure. Yeah.
Tormore Spirit is framed by the toasted oak.
Oh my gosh, this reminds me of 7th grade. Was it Mr. Kogut? I think it was Mr. Kogut's class, and I was making a record bin for my record collection, and we were cutting maple. And I did such a piss poor job. I meant to put the 2x4s on the outside, and I put them on the inside, and so I wasn't able to put as many records into my bin as I could. And so I didn't pass that class. But
you didn't pass wood shop?
I didn't pass wood shop. But the smell brings me right back to failing that grade.
Yeah, it brings me back. Yeah. Ollie's loving the connection between his blueprint and you failing a class.
Yeah, there you go. This is well. This will be me passing here. Ah, that's a really interesting nose. It does tamp down the fruit a little bit. The wood comes out, but in a nice way. That's really pleasant. I think this nose would be nice for the bourbon drinkers here
Hmm.
in the U.S. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's toasted oak all over that palate.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, the oak spice is present there, but there's definitely a char in addition to that.
Mm.
Grain again, just like the palate on the bourbon barrel, the grain is present. Definitely for me, for my palate, a lot less fruit happening here.
Yeah,
A
for
lot
sure.
less fruit coming to the fore. None of the lemon, none of
Mm.
that citrus.
Mm. Oh, I think I'm getting some citrus coming through. I'm getting a bit of oak spice coming through. I'm getting some of that lemon. There's a zestiness as it kind
Yeah.
of transitions from the
And
palate to the
that's
finish
yep.
for me, right?
Yeah, that's where I was going to concede the evolution for me is
Yeah,
transitioning to the finish
yeah,
as it moves towards the back of the palate.
hmm
It is.
yeah.
It's even
Wow,
making me think of like a lime zest or something like that.
what a completely different dram. I mean, I think
Right?
there's right. It's definitely Tormore.
Yeah.
I think there's no doubt about it. But what a different dram. I think the spirit takes well to the cask.
So you took us to woodshop on this one.
Yeah.
We had a project in woodshop where we had to scorch some lettering onto like a little
All right.
wooden jewelry box or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that scorched wood aroma is what I get when I return to the nose here.
Mm.
Oh man, it was also one of those like little pens, and I do remember catching my finger on the
Oh
tip of
yeah.
the pen. It
Yep.
was not a comfortable feeling.
Just the tip.
Just the tip.
Yeah.
Scorched it. I scorched my own tip on the tip.
On the tip. Mm.
Huh.
Yeah.
This is definitely one you start to open your mind to it as a component, right? And again, I've said it on the podcast on and off over the years, but it takes me back when we first tasted U-Stave with David Perkins at High West.
Mm.
And when we had that U-Stave, it was like, and that's the letter U, not Y-O-U. And we tasted it and we were like, just cheeks drawn together. And we were like, David, what would you do with that cask? Because you and I so often have our single cask hats on. I was
Yeah.
like, David, what would you do with that cask? And he said, I'll just use a little bit of it in a blend and it'll bring me a lot of wood influence. It's
There
like,
you go.
yes. And
There you
that to me is the peak behind the Tormore curtain here.
Yeah.
That's a good whiskey. There's no doubt about it. But I could see how that plays as a component.
Yeah.
Right. And again, in talking about Amanda Beckwith at Virginia Distilling Company, right, where I walk in with my single cask hat on and she says, yeah, these are all flavor components. I can build anything I want using all of these components.
Yeah.
I'm always trying to get my head around that for single malt producers. And that's why I appreciate a peek behind the curtain like this from
Yeah.
Tormore.
Yeah. I had the same experience at M&H when Tomer brought out some 4-year-old number 4 char matured single malt. And in that Tel Aviv hot sun, and it's like drinking the cask. Oh, what are you doing with that? He said, I'm going to add 0.5% to the blend, and it's just going to bring about magic. Okay, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, we can't help but think with our single cask hats
Yeah,
on.
yeah. But yeah, I can see what you're saying, right? This would add, while it's a good dram in and of itself, and I can see myself reaching for it. I could also see myself mixing a bit of this to that bourbon cask and bringing a bit of life to it. Right?
So you have managed to go where I wanted to take today's episode, which is
Ooh.
I just picked up the third sample here
All right.
because I want to give this a taste solo, and then I want you and me to bring 3 components together here to make our own little Tormore single malt.
All right. So for the listeners, for the viewers, we went from bourbon cask to toasted barrel to then our cream sherry cask. And
actually, yeah. First, 2 barrels, and now onto a cask.
Yeah. So what I want to point out about the cream sherry, and Ollie mentioned this back in that season 9, episode 13. The reason that he went for cream sherry is that would have been, if we're thinking about the type of cask being used in the good old days of whiskey, right? It would have been a cream sherry cask because that was the popular sherry type back in the good old days, right? It's a mixture of Oloroso and Pedro Jimenez.
Yeah.
And
cream is such a terrible name for it.
It's such a terrible
We've said
name.
this for years since we went to Jerez.
Yeah.
Maybe even before. Cream's a terrible name for it.
Yeah. There's nothing creamy about it. There's no cream added to it. It's just Oloroso with some PX and there's, differing ratios. For those that don't know what the hell we're talking about, sherry, it's a fortified wine out of Jerez, Spain, and it runs the gamut between very dry and stickily sweet. Oloroso is the middle of the road. It's sort of a medium dry kind of wine, very nutty in style, in flavor. And PX, a Pedro Jimenez, is a stickily sweet dessert-like wine. And so your cream sherry is going to have mostly Oloroso with some PX. It's usually like a 70-30, 80-20 kind of thing, somewhere within that wheelhouse. That's your cream sherry. And that was what was most popular back in the day. And so Ollie's decision to use this was let's give a nod to what was popular back in the day and try to apply that to a modern Tormore.
Yeah. I grew up thinking cream sherry was like the Baileys of sherry, right? Absolutely to be
Baileys.
avoided.
I like Baileys. Come on.
Easy. You just pour yourself a wee dram of Baileys, sit and sip of it of a night.
I tell you what, Baileys with a little bit of Fireball and and a little bit of peanut butter whiskey. Come on. I'm joking. Come on, everybody just, someone in their car just drove off a cliff.
I'm sitting in my office and I just drove off a cliff. Holy shamoly, Joshua. Oh my gosh, I don't think I can calm down in what time is left in this episode. My gosh.
Calm down.
Get me thinking about that as I try to fall asleep tonight.
What a
my God, Bailey's Fireball. Anyway, poor Ollie and Tormore team. Let's get back to this cream sherry cask Tormore.
Oh, this has like juicy fruit all over it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I was getting a little bit of the kind of the ground pepper. And not cracked pepper, but ground grey pepper on the nose, where the cask itself was making an appearance there.
Yeah, no, this is like juji fruit chews or wine. Not as how should I say this? Not as fancy as wine gums, but more juji fruits.
That's funny. This is the point in one of our tastings when you say to me, "Are you sure we're drinking the same sample?" I'm going down like a cracked walnut direction here. I'm getting like nut shells happening here, little dusty.
That's there
little
too.
ground grey pepper, maybe even a little big red chewing gum, but in the distance.
That's right? There as well.
Not up close.
You know where I go when I nose a whiskey. I find a note and then I just follow that. And then you'll throw a note at me, and then my nose just follows that, right? It's just, I'm like a squirrel, or I'm like a dog who sees a squirrel, But I definitely get that cracked walnut, a little bit of that pepper going on. All right. Oh, you've sipped, Jason.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I'm going to sip now. Go ahead.
That's interesting because it has echoes of a note that brings me to smoke, and given is it, oh shit,
Did you just spill it?
It's not the first time I've done this on camera either. Yeah, I swirled it, lost my grip a little bit, and poured it over my keyboard. So
it always happens. Third dram in, right?
Once you find yourself driving off a cliff in your office, what's next? It's cleaning up the mess.
Bailey's, Fireball,
Stop it.
peanut butter whiskey.
Stop it. Not today, Satan. Not today. Do you get anything on there that's leading you towards
smoke?
A suggestion? Remember on the toasted barrel, we had the scorched wood. Now here I've got, is it cask influence? Is it sherry? Is it a sherry component that brings that little? Is it maybe treacle? Molasses more than a smoke component.
Wow. I wish I could say, oh, I see what you're saying, but I don't. I'm not getting smoke. I am getting something that resembles molasses, but there's a bright, almost raspberry. It's almost like a dark chocolate raspberry filled candy to it, right? Like from a Valentine's Day box of chocolates, right? That's what I'm getting from this.
So
like a nougat.
That raspberry that you're describing is shouldering up really close to the beginnings, the suggestion of a quality that's a bit FWP to me. And it's not over it. It's not into the lavender. It's not full, but that raspberry that you're describing is manifesting quite powerfully, quite pronounced.
I wonder if that's why you feel you're getting a bit of smoke, because that FWP is that you say you're sort of FWP adjacent, right? Is often associated with smoke from Bamor.
Well, but even those times you find an FWP adjacent quality in an Auchentoshan, right? An older Auchentoshan.
Right? Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's just that kind of shouldering up against it. Yeah. Yeah, I like that cask as well. That's tidy.
Yeah. Do you have a... Could we just really quickly, because I saved some of all three. I'd love to go back to 1, 2, 3.
Oh my gosh.
And then just sort of pick a favorite. And then
my favorite's easy. Yeah, my favorite didn't change.
All right.
And going back, it's the one I would absolutely drink all day long, twice on Sundays. Oh my gosh. Oh, I tell you what, that toasted barrel is starting to take on like wood burning stove kind of qualities. It's got some nice cedar in it. It's got some nice sandalwood in it.
All right. I just tasted one. It's interesting to retaste it in the context of the other two. It actually amplifies everything that I loved about it the first go around.
That was my exact experience.
Yeah.
And I will actually say in revisiting, number 2 has advanced itself on second
yeah.
pass as well.
Oh, yeah.
That's really interesting. To your point earlier about the toasted barrel being one for the bourbon fans,
Yeah.
like I think this has only grown into even more of a single malt for bourbon fans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Which is
This
funny
is
that we're
nice.
not saying that about the bourbon barrel one.
Yeah. That's all I have to say. Yeah.
Because it's the charred oak, right? It's the
It's the
charred
charred
oak doing the
oak,
work.
right? It makes sense. It's got flavors that simply make sense to that palate.
Yeah.
Because I think the
No,
bourbon barrel is more fruit and cereal led, where the toasted oak is more oak led, and bourbon tends to be more oak led.
100%. Yep,
Right.
100%. Yeah. Not that we're here to rank these. I don't think there's anything to be achieved by ranking these, but I have a very clear 1, 2, 3.
All right. Give it to me.
I would be surprised. Well, maybe I would. I could see 2 and 3. I could see you and me switching 2 and 3, but I think we probably both agree that the bourbon barrel is just top notch, just absolutely phenomenal.
Yep. That's my go-to out of the 3.
And then for me, the one that really advanced itself in the second pass through was the toasted barrel. So I have the toasted barrel in the second spot for me.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, there we go. I'm 1,
Did we
3, and
switch?
2. Yeah, we switched. Yeah,
I thought that was the one place we had the potential to switch.
Yeah.
So if you were to build your blend, which we're about to do, and by blend I mean if you were to build your Tormore single malt from these 3 samples, I wouldn't even call it a marriage. It's a single malt. It's a straight up single malt.
But it's a marriage of these 3. Okay, single malt. Okay, go ahead. Fine. Yep.
So how would you go about building your single malt from these 3 components?
I would want more bourbon cask. I would do it almost like I would do 60% bourbon,
Oh, interesting.
30% sherry,
Josh, you're doing quick math here.
and 10. Yeah, exactly right. And 10% toasted oak.
By
Toasted barrel.
Oh.
Mhm.
Okay. I've done 40, 40, 10. So I've done 40 on the bourbon and 40. Oh, that doesn't work. 45, 45, 10. I've done equal parts bourbon barrel and toasted barrel. And then I've done a top note of cream sherry.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I really want, the reason why I want more bourbon barrel in there is I want the spirit to shine a bit. And I think the toasted oak will help lift that a bit. So, I mean, this is not scientific, people.
It is not, and I have no measuring cylinder in here. And I think what I ended up doing was more like 60, 35, 5, or maybe even 60, 30, 10, which I think is what you were suggesting should happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Man,
I think I
that's a lot of
actually
fun.
nailed it perfectly. I think it's 60, 30, 10 perfectly.
Congratulations. If you are the awarding body, well done there. Front runner. Yeah, it'll be interesting to return to Ollie and Polly and the team and speak about their own journey or return to the episode where we talked about the component elements here. You were saying season 9, episode 13?
Correct, yes.
Huh.
Yeah, that was in that. So that episode was a combination. It was Polly taking us through a tour of Tormore, and then Ollie taking us through casks in the warehouse. Polly Ollie. Yep. Yeah, it was a great, great time. Me and Jess and Polly Ollie.
Man.
And Chris was there too. Sweet Scott was there too.
Oh, cool. Cool. That's an excellent representation of the Tormore distillery. And I think one of the big talking points after summer 2022 was, what will Elixir do with this? Right? Pernod Ricard owned it for a long time, used it as a blending component, really didn't put the single malt front and center. The talk was always about Elixir putting the single malt front and center. And I think this project, the Blueprint Cask program, is really showing. I think it's really smart. They do so many smart things at Elixir. We've been fans of theirs for a long, long time. But I think this giving the consumer the peek behind the curtain, and then, you know, and I wonder if consumers are coming out and doing what we're doing here, right? There's nothing suggesting that consumers make their own Tormore single malt here to play around with this, but yeah, I thought that was inevitable from going through them, and from picking a favorite to picking a lead component to picking a top note. Yeah, really, I think it really succeeds in giving a peek behind the curtain, and I really hope helps build excitement around the Tormore distillery and Elixir's ownership of said distillery.
What I love about the ownership here is that the owners are whiskey lovers first. This is not a distillery that will have bean counters in a marketing department telling them what the whiskey should be. This is Ollie designing these whiskeys, right? And that's really special. And it shows, you know, just tasting these shows the love and care that's gone into them. And I love that.
Well, and I think to bring us back to your point from earlier, which was how much time will something like the Toasted Barrel have had the Tormore spirit in it? We know from the acquisition, right? Ollie was going through every cask, right? Are these the cherries off the top of the sundae that were right as they were? Are these part of some re-racking, right? Where the toasted oak was required? You know, like how is this made up from Ollie's discoveries around the warehouse? And where has he seen the need to bolster? Where has he seen the need to take a step back? You know, where's he caressing? Where is he re-racking and recreating? It's so exciting checking in with him and just asking him questions about where things are at with Tormore. Hell, having lunch with them at Tormore, you know, back in June, you were there with, you know, traveling around Scotland with the Nolan group, and having a blast and seeing what was there. Just before we get out of here, obviously it's an extra. We got to be a little cognizant of the time here, but I didn't want to get out of here without saying we are recording on the birthday of a couple of massive Single Cask Nation supporters. And so on one hand, we have the birthday of James Foster today. I sent him a happy birthday message with 3 exclamation points. And
someone has syphilis.
Yes. And I said, you know, take note of the 3. And he wrote back to say, well, in the spirit of the 3, he is 22, 22, 22. So happy birthday to Foster. And then another gigantic supporter of ours, the only importer we've ever known at Single Cask Nation, Sam Filmus, is having his birthday the day we are recording this as well. So happy birthday to those 2 chaps on this celebratory August 25th.
And the day that this drops is my daughter's birthday.
Hey, fantastic.
She's going to be 19, so
look at that.
Happy birthday.
Her last teenage year. Gosh, life will never be the same, Delma.
The last thing that I want to say with regards to Tormore, some of our Single Cask Nation members may have noticed on our website, the Tormore that we bottled, our 10-year-old, had been sold out on our website for some time. And there it is for our viewers there. Jason's holding it up. Our Dark as Night.
Yeah, there's that number again.
10-year-old. There you go. Had been sold out for some time, and our warehouse found, 16 bottles or so? I think it was about 16 bottles. And so we just put those back up onto our website. So if you've gone to the website and you've wanted to buy the Tormore and couldn't have, now you can. So please go grab a bottle, grab bottles, tell your friends.
And that's singlecastnation.com, nowhere else.
Nowhere else. Not on retail shelves. Only
nowhere
on the website.
Else.
Online exclusive. And the last thing I want to say is, if you're a viewer and you're just watching this and you've not subscribed, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click your little button. Click the little bell below so you'll be alerted of future episodes. And if you're a listener and you want to look at our faces while you listen to our voices, please subscribe to our YouTube channel.
There you go. If you want to see the precise shade of orange we have both shown up in today,
right?
You'll only see that at YouTube.
Look at that. I'm repping your country, Jason. I'm wearing the Iron Brew.
I like that. I'm repping a foreign country. This is Colombia.
Well, Jason.
Yeah, I'm going to keep enjoying this Tormore single malt that I have created this day.
Indeed. Yeah, I got a lot left.
Yeah, that's good.
Cheers to you. Cheers to the listeners. Cheers to the viewers. Cheers to Ollie and Polly.
Indeed.
Polly Ollie.
And Sukhinder and the teams.
Indeed. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.